Yeah, welcome back. Sorry about that, folks. We kind of stopped there for a moment. We had a celebration in our timeline, my timeline here. When a baby's born, it's a big celebration. The whole town, the whole village, the whole community comes out to celebrate. It's a joyful thing. And we just got the news that there was a young'un born, so please forgive us for stopping in the middle. But well, life is precious, and when there's a moment of celebration, you take it because that's what you should do. Life's a gift, and you should be able to take advantage of that gift. It's important. Well, anyway, where we left off was the meek shall inherit the earth. The question was, who are the meek? And we started to say that it's the people that have had a rough life or had a rough time, except they didn't know it. The meek are those that, in your timeline especially, that were overlooked, the ones that were looked down upon. They were thought of as being less than y'all, right? That's part of that old ego that we were talking about before. But that's all it is. The people who could be happy and grateful because they could see the beauties and the blessings of life. They didn't scream and shout about always wanting more. They were happy with what they had, and they knew how to enjoy it and turn the happiest people. There were times back in 2024 and 2025, and the prophet pointed this out to me on more than one occasion because I probably would have missed it. But see, the prophet saw the details of things. Remember, the devil's in the detail. He could see the devil everywhere. He could also see God everywhere. During some of the worst commotions that were going on, I mean, we're talking hurricanes and fires and floods and earthquakes and volcanoes. And, well, he showed me. He showed me on what they used to call, what was it? It wasn't media. It was social media. That's right. He showed me on that. He says folks down in South America, or what was called South America back then, in these terrible floods. And I mean, the floods were everywhere. They were all over the world, right? But one particular thing he showed me was these folks. They lived up in the mountains, and they weren't rich people. I mean, they were humble people, right? Subsistence farming mostly. I mean, they made a little money, but they grew most of what they ate, and that was the life. They were close to the land. That's an important thing too. We're going to look at that a little further too, because that was the salvation of the humanity there. But these folks, anyway, the flood came in, and they were walking around in water up to their chest. I mean, in the house, and there was a woman who was preparing the meal. She said, "My kids are hungry. Damn it, I'm going to cook." And she was cooking fish, and she cleaning them, and she would just dip them in the water because it was running out anyway. But she kept going, and they were laughing. Can you imagine living in a flood where you are chest deep in water and you still decide that you're going to cook for your children because your children are hungry? And then she looked out the door, and there comes her mother carrying a pig. Why? Because she was afraid the pig couldn't swim that long. And so she was holding the pig up. But they were all laughing. in the middle of a disaster that everyone else, or I won't say everyone else, but a whole lot of people were screaming, "Oh Lord, why me? Help me!" Well, and these people just found a way through it without losing their joy. All they want to do is help other people. If someone needed help, you go out and did it. Some of the ones in Europe, there's some of those floods. There was people out on the streets risking their lives to help others. See, that was part of the whole point. When Mother Earth decided she had to shake things up to try to start healing her own self from the damage we had all done to her, it gave people the opportunity to stand up and be human, to take care of other people, to show that they had love inside them. Now, there were some miserable some bitches that took advantage of that situation, tried to take advantage of other people. And I believe, well, I know, I know, because I knew some of them and I know what happened to them. God has a special place in hell for people like that. Now, I want you to think about something. Every religion has, at some point, they talk about this, something that is unforgivable. Um, in the Christian faith and the Bible, there's a section, I believe it's in Matthew 12 to 14 or in Psalms 105, 101 or 105. There's actually some, once, they call it a sin. And I don't like that word myself because it's been misused by so many people to try to manipulate people. When someone tells you what a sin is instead of you deciding for your own self, because God's inside you. So all you got to do is go inside and ask God what is and what isn't. I mean, we all make mistakes, and none of us are perfect. Uh, but we're all works in progress. When we get, I came to the conclusion. Well, the prophet kind of led me there. Let's be honest. That if you reach 90% good, you you ascend. I mean, Buddha did it. Buddha wasn't perfect, but he still went up. There's probably a dozen, 15 different characters, everything from Jacob, going up Jacob's ladder to just in the Christian religion. I mean, and that's not even talking about the Buddhists, all the different Buddhists that ascended to heaven. I mean, even Muhammad, right, ascended. And let's face it, I mean, perfect he wasn't, because he was a, he existed in a time of great wars and conflicts, and and he felt the need to take that route on some occasions. And he regretted a lot of that. I mean, his own words talk about that and about how to and searching for peace and harmony within the Lord, within Allah. Just another name for God. Just another name. Rose by any other name. We're back to that again. But even Jesus, well, he blew up in the temple, man. He tore a rip through there. Well, let's face it, that's not exactly what he had been preaching. So he kind of lost it. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't justified in doing so. You don't have to be perfect. I think that's part of the reason that we're so special. I mean, God could have made us, he made us in his image. I mean, everything's created in the image of God. So he could have made us perfect. But he gave us free will, which means we have to, every single minute of every single day, make a decision to be good, to do our best, to do better. We're all works in progress, trying to reach that 90% mark. Some, I think, get pretty darn close to it and decide to stay here to try to help some more. Maybe that's a bit of their own ego. This is, I think I can do more. And they're thinking that they don't quite reach that 90%. So they don't take off and leave to another place. Don't matter. It's all good. There ain't no bad the good don't come from, and every good deed sees a punishment. Didn't we talk about that already? I guess we did. Well, I'm going to go real quick now because I don't want to go spend too much time on this here one. This is actually chapter 2, part 3. It's the final one. I'm going to leave off here and I'm going to go over in a little bit and go to chapter 3. Y'all have a good day. And to myself, share this. That's why I keep saying y'all. It's not just you, son. Okay? Chapter 3, we're going to warn you a little bit about some things that are coming because you're getting this information before you actually meet the prophet. And I want to prepare you for that because I think if you were better prepared, me, if I was better prepared when I met the prophet, maybe I could have been more help to him. Because that was a heavy burden off for one. Anyway, God bless you. God bless me. See you in a bit.